Kuku here today with the Ravenclaw Common Room. I would just like to start by saying that I am not a Ravenclaw. In fact, I'm an idiot. Just forgot to record a significant portion of this build, so you will notice that it goes from barely having the layout to being almost completely decorated, and I'm just really sorry for that gap. There's nothing I can do about it at this point. I had a lot of fun doing the Ravenclaw Common Room. I think that as much of a Hufflepuff as I am, Ravenclaw is more my aesthetic, because it's all those just books everywhere and all those warm browns. I don't know what bronze is. Does anybody know what color bronze is? So I just kind of went with a lot of brown and pretended that was bronze. Is my theory on the real reason the movies changed it to silver is they were just I don't know what bronze is, but silver looks good, so let's do that. So once again, I turned to the books for a description of this common room, and then I kind of struggled, because the carpet is supposed to be blue with stars in it, and that definitely did not exist. I tried some blue carpets, and they were all really ugly, so I went with this blue rug, which does not have stars in it, but has moons on it, and just kind of wound up with a very, astral space theme, which is interesting. The head of Ravenclaw House is not in charge of astronomy. It's Flitwick, who's in charge of charms. But I do think that Ravenclaws would probably look to the stars a lot. They probably do a lot of, astronomy and studying the cosmos. And the interesting thing about Ravenclaws, to me, is that their focus is on the pursuit of knowledge. But they don't really specify, the knowledge about what. It could be astronomy, and it could be charms, and it could be transfiguration, and it could be science, and it could be art history. So long as you're pursuing knowledge, you are a proper Ravenclaw. And for that reason, I think it's kind of hard to nail down, what a Ravenclaw is. And the Ravenclaw that we see the most is probably pretty atypical for the house. I mean, let's be honest, Luna Lovegood is pretty atypical for anything. I mean, she's her own special flower, that's why we love her. But it makes you kind of wonder, what does a stereotypical Ravenclaw look like? Are they more dry and bookish, or are they all kind of crazy, absent-minded professor types? I don't know as much about Ravenclaw. I haven't delved super deep into the lore. I don't feel like I know that much about Rowena, except for all the drama that goes down with her daughter. I did put in a statue that I thought fit for Rowena. She kind of has a circlet-y thing that's almost like a diadem. Not really, but we're pretending. But my main focus was to make this room a place that would be warm and cozy and inviting and a great place to curl up with a book, do your homework, have intellectual discussions about very complex, deep things that I probably wouldn't even understand. I wouldn't even be able to get into the Ravenclaw common room. I love riddles, but I'm real bad at them, and I just kind of would be locked out all the time. This is why I'm not a Ravenclaw. I'm friends with a lot of Ravenclaws. My dad's a Ravenclaw. Interesting thing, or at least I find it interesting, my family of 4, my mom, my dad, my brother, and I, represent the 4 houses. As you know, I'm a Hufflepuff, my mom is a Gryffindor, my dad's a Ravenclaw, and my brother is a Slytherin, which is hard for my mother, the Gryffindor, to accept, but it's true. So yeah, now we've jumped to where it's almost completely decorated. I added that weird, flying llama statue, just because I felt like it was something Luna Lovegood would appreciate. I added a lot of plants to make it feel, really inviting and alive. We have 2 separate tables for study groups, some really comfy chairs next to the fireplace. I, of course, added a chess table. That was a no-brainer. A globe that is not a bar, unlike the one in the Slytherin common room. I do add an art easel in a minute, just because I feel like every common room needs an art easel, because there are artists from all 4 houses. I believe that. I also threw in a violin, because that just seemed to fit for Ravenclaw. Maybe it was the, Sherlock Holmes vibe going on. I don't know. Sherlock Holmes is definitely a Ravenclaw, right? Nobody's gonna fight me on that one. But I really just want to sit in one of those armchairs with a good book, and that's what this place is all about. I added some, astral pictures on the walls of stars, which I thought were cool. I don't know, I feel like I don't know as much about Ravenclaw as the other houses. I haven't obsessed over it to the level that I have Hufflepuff, and it's not one of the main ones from the book, like Gryffindor and Slytherin. I really appreciate the house. I think a lot of scientific breakthroughs come from Ravenclaws. I see the value in all 4 houses. I think all 4 are absolutely essential. We couldn't have a world without all 4 different types of people. And there's a broad range within the houses. As I mentioned, what defines a Ravenclaw is different for each person. But I'd be interested to hear from any Ravenclaws watching, what you think makes you a Ravenclaw, what defines you as a Ravenclaw. Is it the pursuit of knowledge, or would you consider it something else? And if it is the pursuit of knowledge, what knowledge are you pursuing in particular? Do you like riddles? I feel like not all Ravenclaws would necessarily love riddles, but maybe that's a requirement for being in the house. It's a requirement for getting into the common room, so there's that. Oh, I do put some birds on the wall here in a second, and they're not eagles, nor are they ravens. In case you didn't know, the Ravenclaw mascot is not a raven; it is an eagle. But I actually put doves on the wall because that was like the only bird accessory we had, and I thought it was really pretty. I threw down a lot of things that aren't necessarily house specific. Like there's a really pretty fairy statue that I love. I really did have a lot of fun making this. I hope you guys liked it. We're coming up on the screenshots now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next episode. Bye!